of the events or a repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man that go nuts if he can't shoot. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
I'm
Queen.
getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation.
Queen.
All right. Hold on just a second, everyone. All right, so hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your daily vitamin. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so let's get ready to get into it. Now, before we get started, and before I get into my introduction and all of that, let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes. Okay, in the meantime, everybody hit that like button. Thank you in advance. I appreciate you.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so with that all being said, you can purchase 12 Tribes at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find it at Walmart.com. Okay, so let's get ready to get into it. Let's see who all is in here. Okay, Malik is here. Miss AP is in the house. 504 Nola. Trisha is here. Pio Bunyan. All right, let's get into it, Miss AP. Byron B is in the house. Shout out to all of my loyal royals tuned in, and everyone tuned into the Queen, and to my moderators for putting in work. I see you, Terry Hinton. Okay, so let's get it started. Kainan is in the house. We the people. Juju. All right, let's get this party started. Okay, so listen, if you don't know, I uploaded a couple of videos for you all to go check those out. Okay, some information on Diddy and 50 Cent trolling him. Okay, so let's talk about it because Kash Patel has just been confirmed as the new director of the FBI. He barely made it. Okay, it was very narrow, but he's been getting dragged all over the place. The Democrats don't like him. People are saying that he's shady as you know what, and they just have a lot to say. And then recently he called out Elon Musk, saying that Elon was getting rich off of taxpayers. Okay, we're all paying for it. This is what he said. He called out Elon Musk for getting rich off taxpayers. Now, Trump's nominee to lead the FBI has a history of trashing the most important loyalists in the White House. Well, we're going to see how this all turns out because him and Elon clearly are not going to be getting along. So Kash Patel is set to become the latest of President Donald Trump's unfit and unqualified loyalist, confirmed by a leadership role in Washington, with Senate Republicans ready and willing to install the QAnon promoter and 2020 election denier as the next director of the FBI. Now, once he becomes head of the powerful law enforcement agency, Patel is sure to go after Trump's personal enemies, but he may have trouble targeting one of his own. And that's the tech oligarch and tightly embedded Trump whisperer, Elon Musk. Okay, please pay attention. Now, during the Biden administration, Patel, a former Intelligence and Defense Department official under Trump, who had considered elevating him to the top of the FBI or CIA, okay, in the closing days of his first term, only to be dissuaded by cabinet members. Now, this made plenty of media appearances, and he made plenty of media appearances and hosted a podcast called Cash's Corner. Okay, and so with that all been said, listen, a lot of people don't like this man. A lot of people have some things to say about him. I'm going to go to this video. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Where they are, in fact, dragging him. Okay, I mean, they're just going all in on this man. And, you know, here's the thing. He's one of those people that kisses Trump's butt. Okay, and we know that Trump doesn't really care about qualifications or, you know, if someone has experience or whatever, as long as they're going to be a yes man to him and do whatever he wants them to do and defend him, okay, even when he's wrong. So this man is definitely a loyalist. So let's talk about it. In the meantime, between time, everybody please hit that like button. Okay, thank you very kindly. Now I'm looking for this video. Okay, I'm going to have to go back to that. But nonetheless, let's talk about Trump. DC prosecutor questions a Long Beach congressman over alleged threats. Hold on, guys. I don't know what is going on here. Why won't this? It won't even let me open this up. Hold on. Let me try this again. Okay, let's see if this was going to work. Okay, here we go. That one wouldn't even let me read it for some reason. Wouldn't even let me open the article. Okay, Trump's DOGE threatens Democratic congressman who shared Elon Musk DICK pic. Okay, now this is somebody who's working in the White House. Please pay attention, okay? Having meetings in the Oval Office, but you're out here sharing D pics? Yeah. So Trump's Department of Justice has sent a threatening letter to Representative Robert Garcia, okay, after the California Democrat mocked Elon Musk just last week. Now, Garcia joined other House Democrats. This is all getting real nefarious, real quick. Pay attention. Okay, he joined other House Democrats at the first House delivering on Government Efficiency Subcommittee hearing last Wednesday in attacking the tech mogul's gutting of the federal government. Now, Garcia displayed a large picture of Musk, calling it a D pic, and jokingly referred to the tech mogul as the president. Okay, we've been hearing a whole lot of that, right? So Elon didn't actually have a DICK pic. I guess he's calling Elon one or saying that's what he looks like. Okay, which is still nefarious. Please pay attention. Now, with that all been said, hold on, let me continue. Okay, so goes on to say that they were making jokes about Elon. And quite frankly, Trump didn't like it, and neither did he. And so they say the picture seems to have attracted the ire of the interim U.S. attorney for the District of Columbia, Ed Martin, now who has vowed to stop anyone who threatens or attacks Musk's Department of Government Efficiency. Specifically, Martin took issue with an interview that Garcia gave on CNN later that day, okay, in which he said, what the American public wants is for us to bring actual weapons to this bar fight. This is an actual fight for democracy. Now, Martin sent Garcia a letter on Monday asking for clarification regarding that comment, telling Garcia, this sounds to me like a threat to Mr. Musk, okay, an appointed representative of President Donald Trump, who you called DICK, okay, and government staff who worked for him. Martin's letter asked for a response from Garcia by February the 24th. Now, Garcia posted the letter to his X account Thursday, asserting that members of Congress must have the right to forcefully oppose the Trump administration. He says, I will not be silenced. Okay, you got to watch for these headlines because I'm telling you, I thought Elon had a whole D pick out there. I'm like, is he that crazy? Okay, so anyway, Martin has already targeted Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer for supposedly inciting violence against conservative Supreme Court justices 5 years ago. Now, Martin has also threatened to investigate former special counsel Jack Smith, who was pursuing criminal investigations against Trump. Okay, it seems that Martin, a defender of Trump's election fraud lies and the January the 6th Capitol riots, wants to use his prosecutorial power to punish anyone who dares to oppose the president or Musk. Now, see, this is all a problem right here. This is exactly what the Democrats feared that Trump was going to do. And now it's not only that we have Trump that wants to get his get back, the millions that he has hired, okay, the millions that he has appointed, they want to do the same thing. Okay, please pay attention. This is all crazy. Greta Lee says freedom of speech is now gone. Yeah, it's been gone. Absolutely, beloved. It has absolutely been gone. Okay, so with that all being said, let's continue because Trump's DOJ also tried to bully its way to the end of the Eric Adams prosecution. So on Wednesday, Bov, who was down the street at the federal courthouse and had a new, bigger title. He's the acting deputy attorney general. But after watching Bov argue before a federal judge that the DOJ should be allowed to proceed with dropping its prosecution of New York City Mayor Eric Adams, it was entirely clear that he is still Trump's attorney. Okay, Bov, along with Adams' defense attorney, Alex Spiro, put on a show of measured intimidation in an effort to bring as quick to an end as possible the case, which had been set to go to trial in April. Now, for Bov and Spiro, that meant attempts to block any process that might keep the case alive. Okay, allow the judge to inquire further into the circumstances of the dismissal or subject the Trump DOJ motion to dismiss to further scrutiny. So U.S. District Judge Dale Ho from the Southern District of New York issued no ruling at the hearing, saying only at the end that he had limited discretion to proceed, but that he had not reached a conclusion on whether to inquire further into the circumstances of the motion to dismiss and into whether he would be able to appoint an amicus to oppose Adams and the government. Now, Bov and Spiro pushed hard throughout, attempting both to muscle an end to the matter and to deny the clear picture that had emerged as the DOJ attempted to end the case. Now, the acting top Manhattan federal prosecutor had resigned over Bov's decision to end the prosecution, saying that there was the appearance of a quid pro quo in which the DOJ temporarily dropped the case in exchange for Adams agreeing to cooperate with Trump's policies, including immigration and customs enforcement activity in the city. That almost sounds like a bribe. I mean, that's just my opinion. Okay, please pay attention. Now, joining Bov in the courtroom was Todd Blanche, his former law partner and fellow Trump defense attorney, who is awaiting Senate confirmation to assume the role of Deputy Attorney General. Now, Blanche sat in the first sat in the first row of a packed courtroom. Bub sat by himself at the prosecution table. Two career DOJ employees who had entered appearances in the matter did not appear, leaving the acting DAG to assume the role of a line prosecutor to argue the motion. Now, the effect was to create the appearance of a united front before Ho. Okay, the DOJ was all in. They were all in on this, along with Mayor Adams, in spite of the resignations from the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York and the DOJ's Public Integrity Section. Now, Ho asked Bub about two arguments that had been made to dismiss the case, that the DOJ needed to consider how the prosecution impeded Adams's ability to cooperate with federal law enforcement, and how the case blocked Adams from preparing for the upcoming New York City mayoral elections. Now, Bub reiterated claims that the Adams prosecution had been brought abusively, but told Ho that the court lacked authority to review that claim. Instead, Bub said the DOJ was already conducting a couple of ongoing investigations into the actual purpose of the prosecution. Now, as the hearing progressed, Bub kept trying to direct Ho's arguments, or direct Ho to arguments that might end the case. And at one point, Ho inquired about Bub's argument that prosecuting the mayor would impede his ability to run the city and to campaign in the mayoral election. The fact that Mayor Adams is sitting to my left has the effect. This is what Bub says. Okay, the pendency of this motion has the effect. Now, the idea that the responsibilities of public office or the prospect of political campaigning could serve as grounds to avoid prosecution is a complete departure from the consortium of decades of DOJ practice. Now, Ho asked Bub whether there were any cases in which the DOJ had used this justification before to drop charges against a public official. Bub said there were none, but then invoked the Biden administration's motion to dismiss charges against Russian arms smuggler Viktor Bout as part of a prisoner exchange. Now, at another point, he needled Bub about another reason that he cited for dropping the case. Adams had lost his security clearance after being indicted. Now, after several questions, Bub said that Trump's supposedly extensive executive abilities would allow him to bestow security clearances on any citizen, including an indicted Adams. But Bub then threw up another reason why the prosecution should be dismissed. Adams could not speak to DOJ officials while charged by the department, blocking him from reviewing federal national security concerns and federal immigration concerns. Now, at one point, Bub alluded to terroristic threats for good measure. So they're pulling that all the stops. Listen, what they're doing is they're trying to, they almost remind me of Diddy, because Diddy's pulling out all the stops and doing everything he can to get out of his predicament, to try to get, count 3 of his superseded indictment dismissed, crying racism and all of this. He's now suing NBC for the documentary. He's doing everything he can. And he keeps on talking, or his defense team keeps on talking about an unfair trial and all of this stuff. And this is basically what they're doing. They're literally doing just about the same thing, making a myriad of excuses as to why they need to go ahead and just drop this whole thing with Mayor Eric Adams. Okay, now they go on to say that Spiro, Adams's attorney, spoke less throughout the hearing. And at one point, when Judge Ho was asking about how the motion might impact timing under the Speedy Trial Act, Spiro replied dismissively, saying that he hadn't given it much thought. Knowing that's a lie. Okay, you think he hadn't been sitting there thinking about, the timeliness of the trial? Now, they say no appellate court in this country has ever upheld a district court's denial of a motion to dismiss. This is what Alex Spiro says. Ho was only able to review documentation of Bub's efforts within the Justice Department to dismiss the case. Okay, acting Manhattan U.S. Attorney Danielle Sassoon had sent a letter to Attorney General Pam Bowdy resigning, and Bub had replied with a lengthy missive because amicus filers had introduced it. They say it's unclear if Ho will consider these documents in his decision making, but Bove and Spiro urged him not to. Okay, now toward the start of the hearing, Ho asked Adams a few questions about the case. Adams told the judge that there had been no threat or inducement which led him to take the deal that Buff proposed. And at one point after he conferred with Spiro, Ho remarked that Adams was free to confer with his counsel as much as needed. Adams simply replied, "I appreciate that because I have failed my law class." Okay, so here's the thing. They're trying to say that this is causing problems for the mayor. He's not able to run the city effectively. He can't get clearance for certain things, and that they just need to go ahead and dismiss this because, you know, it's kind of ridiculous is what they're trying to say. But I'm sorry. At the end of the day, Eric Adams needs to go ahead and face the music because I absolutely believe that he was doing some nefarious things. Now, that's just my opinion. But what do you all think? Do you all think they should just go ahead and dismiss it? Okay, I have several questions. Powell Bunyan says Adams is Trump's hostage. Okay. Let me put on my spectacles for a second. They spent the last 4 years trying to put Trump behind bars instead of galvanizing the Black community, meeting our demands. Now, this is all true, but it looks like they're trying to say they want to meet them now, beloved. Good for them. Dems getting their butts handed to them, and DC is a mess. Absolutely. And you know what's so interesting is now they want to start talking about reparations. Okay, they can miss us with it because that's just all a load of BS, and I'm quite sure that they know it. Okay, or that they know that we know it. Please pay attention. Please pay attention. Now, what's next for New York City Mayor Eric Adams? Okay, what's next for him as Judge Wade's dismissing his corruption case? Well, I'm so glad you asked. So they say the first-term Democrat is waiting on a judge to rule on a Justice Department request to dismiss federal indictment charging him with accepting lavish travel perks and illegal campaign contributions from foreign interests seeking to buy his influence. And as he's waiting on the political fallout, namely whether Governor Kathy Hochul will go beyond guardrails and seek to remove him from office, and concerns that he's compromised his independence by relying on President Donald Trump's administration to end his criminal case. Now, they say Adams testified under oath at a hearing Wednesday on the Justice Department's request, insisting there was no quid pro quo arrangement to shelve his criminal case. But a lawyer for the government argued that dropping the case was necessary to ensure Adams could aid Trump's. Well, we already know that, okay? So anyway, they say that U.S. District Judge Dale E. Ho is weighing a Justice Department request to dismiss it. He still hasn't made up his mind. Okay, so this is just another article saying basically the same thing. You know, like I said, Trump seems to be showing a lot of favoritism to people who are loyal to him. He seems to be trying to get a lot of things done for people that he, you know, that he favors, basically. And the people that he's had problems with in the past, people who prosecuted him, tried to get him impeached, people who said or did anything against him, well, now he wants to get back at all of them. And he's got a handful of minions that are going to help him do just that. Okay. And this is why the Democrats are running scared, because they already know what's coming down the pike. Okay. They already know what Trump's got out for them. Please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, I really wanted to show you all that video. I could have sworn, hold on, let me check one more place. I really wanted you all to see that video of what they had to say about, you know what? I think I actually have it. I think I have it in my phone. As a matter of fact, I know I do. Okay, so what I'm going to do, since I don't have it uploaded, I'm just going to play the audio and let you all hear this, because this is what they were saying about Kash Patel. Okay, now listen to this. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. And mind you, Kash Patel is the nefarious man, okay? And I do believe that he absolutely is nefarious, okay? He is the man that has just been confirmed, although barely, okay? I mean, it was a very close margin, okay? He's just been confirmed as the new director of the FBI. And what's interesting about that is he had a whole lot of negative things to say about the FBI, in fact. He had a whole lot of negative things to say about it. So I just find it interesting that he's been chosen to be the head of the department. Okay, but let's get into it. Now I'm going to play this audio. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Here we go.
Lacks the character to do this this job, someone who lacks the integrity to do this job. We know that. Our Republican colleagues know that. The only qualification Kash Patel has to be FBI director is that when everyone else in the first Trump administration said, no, I won't do that, that crosses moral, ethical, and legal lines, Kash Patel said, sign me up. In the first Trump administration, as we are seeing in the second, you rise to the level of your sycophancy, and no one be in this building. He can't do the job. He won't protect the public. He will misuse the resources of the Bureau. He will weaponize it against the president's political opponents rather than protecting the safety, the public safety of the American people.
Adam Schiff is the worst.
Now, with that all being said, this is what he had to say about Kash Patel, okay? And now this is Kash Patel speaking.
Criminal in Congress in the last 250 years. And what broke that we're going to talk about right now is Adam Schiff met with a whistleblower. Adam Schiff went to the podium day after day after day saying, I know nothing about this. We're not going to discuss it. We're going to protect it. And then Adam Schiff, led the prosecution of the impeachment trial in the Senate of President Donald Trump.
Now, the man that he's talking about, Adam Schiff, is the man who was just previously talking trash about him. Okay, please pay attention.
Talk about someone who was conflicted out of the game because he was part of the hoax that brought Charmella in, manufactured that false accusation, and then peddled it out to the world. And he continued, not surprising, he's lied about almost everything in his life. But now he lied just to set up a presidential impeachment. That's what I was talking about, these disinformation campaigns. And then he should be investigated because he lied to the world about his interactions with Charmella, who is a whistleblower, and I can't stress it enough, that started a presidential impeachment. Now, your history is way better than mine, but I can't remember the last time a president was actually impeached. It's a significant process and escalation, and it's reserved for the time when it actually shows a crime, not shows the manufacture of fake information to show a fake crime. The guy that found and manufactured the evidence with Charmella was the prosecutor in the case against the target of the investigation. That is the ultimate, from a prosecutorial standpoint, conflict of interest. But he knew what he was doing, and he thought he would never get exposed. And I think thanks to, I think it was John Solomon in his fantastic reporting, we now see what I've been saying for years, that I thought he met with him for sure, and it will come out, and it now has.
This is someone
Okay, I want you all to pay attention, because what is so crazy is that all of these people are so corrupt, okay? I just want you all to pay attention to every last one of them, in my opinion, is absolutely corrupt. And this is why they just go back and forth, calling out each other, when they're all low down and dirty, as far as I'm concerned. Absolutely, all of them are low down and dirty. Okay, please pay attention. Now, did you all know that someone was arrested for making death threats on Elon Musk? Yeah, I find it all interesting. Man arrested for making death threats targeting Elon Musk on X. And I'm going to share my screen to show you all his picture. This is him right here, honey. Okay, please pay attention. See, Elon has not even been hanging out with Trump at the Oval Office for a month yet. And already he's getting death threats. Well, actually, today makes a month, okay? Because the inauguration was the 20th of last month. So just a month and he's already getting death threats. I just want you all to pay attention. This is the culprit right here. Okay, this is the man right here. Now let's get into it. So here's what they're reporting. He's been arrested clearly. Okay, Indiana State Police said Texas authorities contacted them on Tuesday and told them that 28-year-old David Cherry had threatened Musk on social media earlier in February. An investigation then found Cherry in Clarksville, Indiana, where he was reportedly arrested without incident. Now, he was taken in for questioning, and officials obtained a search warrant for Cherry's home in Palmyra. Okay, when the warrant was executed, authorities said they found an AR-15 style rifle, a handgun, ammunition, and a ballistic vest from the residence. Now, Cherry has been charged with intimidation. He's currently being held in the Harrison County jail without a bond. Okay, they just charged him with intimidation. I'm sorry, that isn't a terroristic threat. Okay, I just have several questions. But anyway, getting threats already. Like I said, this is what happens when you hang out with Trump. Now let's go to this interview that Trump and Elon did with Sean Hannity. Now I meant to show you all this yesterday. I had it already queued and everything, and I don't know how I forgot. Okay, so we're going to listen to a few excerpts from here. Okay, likes up, everyone, please like and share. Hoosier going after white South African. Interesting. Going after a Hoosier, going after a white South African. Okay. Elon Musk is doing a great job catching the crooks and calling them out, says Lisa. I mean, he's really got the Democrats on the run. They're really not knowing what to do and where to turn. And all they can do is whine and grovel and complain and continue to file lawsuits against Trump's administration. Now, I don't know if I told you all this the other day, but the IRS, they had an activist, right, from the IRS actually said they were going to file a lawsuit as well, okay, to try to stop DOGE from digging into the IRS information. Yeah, privacy advocates, that's who it was. Privacy advocates filed lawsuit to stop DOGE from peeking at IRS taxpayer data. So a coalition of watchdog groups and unions has filed a lawsuit seeking to block Elon Musk's DOGE team from accessing sensitive taxpayer information at the IRS. Now, a similar battle is brewing at the Social Security Administration as Elon Musk, his deputies, try to pry open some of the government's most closely guarded data doors. Now, they say DOGE and its game of governmental whack-a-mole has wreaked havoc on the American system of government and caused incredible concern for the privacy of the American public. Now, this is what they say in a complaint that was filed in federal court for the District of Columbia. The lawsuit notes that Musk's Department of Government Efficiency team has already tapped into computer systems at numerous federal agencies, including the Department of Treasury, or the Treasury Department, and the Education Department, and USAID. But it argues taxpayer data at the IRS enjoys special legal protections. They say it's very personal. This is what Nina Olson, the longtime national taxpayer advocate, this is what she said, okay? She says at the IRS, she's the person who now heads the nonprofit Center for Taxpayer Rights, okay? One of the groups filing the lawsuit. She says, if you just took a look at your 1040 or whatever form you're filing, it's your family structure. It's your income from all sorts of sources. It's all sorts of deductions. It's your health income. It's your health information. Okay, and what's her point? So I want you all to pay attention to the amount of extreme fear mongering they keep giving us. Okay, it's got all of your information. It's your health information. Okay, it's all sorts of deductions. And we're supposed to be concerned that Elon might see this. Now, Olson keeps saying that information confidential is critical to maintaining taxpayers' willingness to file. So she thinks that Elon going in there and finding out what they're doing and what they've been doing with all the taxpayer dollars, that's going to make people not want to file. Is that what she really thinks? I mean, do you all realize how stupid that sounds? People don't want to file their taxes anyway. Elon going in there and finding any sort of corruption that can get them in trouble, that's what everybody should want, okay? Because they darn sure don't give us a break. But let me continue. Now, last year, a former IRS contractor, Charles Littlejohn, was sentenced to 5 years in prison for leaking information on the tax returns of Donald Trump and other wealthy individuals to the news media. Now, for decades, the executive branch had easy access to taxpayers' data, but Congress passed a law in 1976 restricting that, partly in response to the concerns that President Nixon had weaponized the information to help friends and punish foes. Oh, so you mean Trump's not the first one to try to punish or go after his political rivals? Of course he isn't, but he's the main one they keep talking about when in fact they all do this. But let's continue. Now, they say this nation already once experienced a president who sought to collect tax information on his political allies and enemies. Following the Watergate era, Congress clearly and unequivocally acted to protect the American people from these intrusions. Well, see, here's the thing. That would hardly be the case with Elon and DOGE, because we all know that they're going in there and they're going to be meddling through things and digging up stuff. We already know that. So if it was someone trying to do something nefarious, they would usually do that in the dark. Okay, they would do that behind closed doors, not with everybody's eyes watching them and waiting to see what they're going to find. Okay, so that doesn't even make any sense to me. But what do I know? And so anyway, goes on to say, the problem is we don't know what uses they are proposing. This is what Olson told the Morning Edition in a separate interview on Tuesday, saying that access to that database, to that system, the IDRS, is closely controlled, and IRS employees are only allowed to access those components that relate directly to their job duties. Now, the White House has said DOGE is hunting for misuse of government dollars without offering details. What details do they need? I'm talking about the Democrats. What details do they need? They're trying to find out about the wasteful spending and where all this money's been going. Okay. And especially when we owe all this money to China and we have all of these other myriads of problems going on in this country. Okay. Waste, fraud, and abuse have been deeply entrenched in our broken system for far too long. This is what White House spokesman Harrison Fields said in a statement, saying that it takes direct access to the system to identify it and fix it. Now, Olson questioned whether the DOGE team had the experience to spot any tax fraud. Okay, saying, do these folks have background in tax law? This is what she asked. You have to have training on that. And so if you're just a software engineer, it's, you don't have the background to say it's fraud. Now, DOGE employees have also sought access to other sensitive government databases, including at the Social Security Administration, which we did talk about the other day. Okay, now, Acting Social Security Commissioner Michelle King reportedly quit in protest of DOGE's efforts over the weekend, a departure first reported by the Washington Post, saying there's no justifiable reason for Musk and DOGE to have access to Americans' deeply personal information. Okay, so anyway, I find it all interesting. Like I said, I don't really care about Musk going through this stuff. I really don't. I don't have a problem with it. I want him to find out whatever he needs to find out. And these people need to get what's coming to them as far as I'm concerned, because I'm telling you, it all sounds like money laundering and treason. Okay, please pay attention. Now, let's have a look at this interview that Elon and Trump did with Sean Hannity. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. DOGE has a website and they have updates daily, says Original Copper American Sun Energy. Okay, as they should. Byron B said, no disrespect, but I think that Congress should have term limits. Well, that is no disrespect, and they should. Like, why do these old biddies get to stay there and keep those positions forever and a day? And meanwhile, they become multimillionaires and they can't tell us, and they can't make it make sense as to where our taxpayer dollars are going. Okay, you can't sit up here and tell me you sent all this money over here for Sesame Street books. You can't tell me you sent all this money over here, for all these other foolish things that they claim they have done. And you're feeding Al-Qaeda terrorists. Okay, now I'm not trying to hear any of it. I think it's all lies and BS. And I absolutely think that they've been doing this for decades. Okay, and this is probably the stuff that Elon's already uncovered is probably just the tip of the iceberg. Okay, just the tip of the iceberg. There's probably a whole lot more that we're going to find out as time goes on. Okay, please pay attention. These people are all nefarious at the end of the day. Now I'm going to share my screen so we can check out this interview or clip from this interview with Trump, Elon, and Sean Hannity.
We were all up late last night. You might have been too, watching Sean Hannity's exclusive interview with Elon and with President Trump. You know that they're working on DOGE together, saving us a lot of money. They're saying, what, $55 trillion? Billion.
That's what they say.
$55 billion they have saved so far, and that's just been in the first month. Here's a portion of that interview.
I think the way to think of me is like I'm a technologist, and I try to make technologies that improve the world and make life better.
Your shirt.
Yeah, and that's why I like my T-shirt says tech support, because I'm here to provide the president with technology support. And now that may seem like, well, is that a silly thing? But actually, it's a very important thing, because the president will make these executive orders, which are very sensible and good for the country, but then they don't get implemented. One of the biggest functions of the DOGE team is just making sure that the presidential executive orders are actually carried out. And this is, I just want to point out, this is a very important thing, because the president is the elected representative of the people. So he's representing the will of the people. And if the bureaucracy is fighting the will of the people and preventing the president from implementing what the people want, then what we live in is a bureaucracy and not a democracy.
You write a beautiful executive and you sign it and you assume it's going to be done, but it's not. What he does is he takes it, and with his 100 geniuses, he's got some very brilliant young people working for him that dress much worse than him, actually.
Yeah,
they dress in just T-shirts. You wouldn't know they have 180 IQ.
Wait a minute. So he's your tech support.
No, he is.
I actually
but
literally
he's
am
much
tech
more
support.
than that.
I
Yeah,
literally am tech support, though. But that's
he gets it done. He's a leader.
He is a leader. And, you know, his companies have been leaders in software development as well. And one of the things that President Trump signed yesterday was about the Software Modernization Initiative. And that is something this federal government has needed for a while. I mean, how many times have you heard in the last week or two when Elon Musk has talked about, you know, there are a bunch of, according to the Social Security database, there are a bunch of 150-year-old people who would be eligible for Social Security. It's simply because the way the federal government technology is set up, it's antiquated. And it's time to get to 2025 rather than using systems that date back into the 80s.
Yeah, so they're both talking about the roles they're going to play. And what he's doing, too, is leaning out every division. Now he's focused on the IRS. He's just got off of education. And he's going to be jumping into the Pentagon. So hopefully everyone understands they got to go. What he does with his organization, he'll fly in and he'll say, everyone gets 15 minutes of FaceTime with the CEO, at which time you describe what you're doing. A lot of people get raises on the spot. A lot of people say, I think I got to let you go. He will let you go right there. So that is jarring a lot of the federal workforce. And this was one moment, one lighter moment from their exchange that people are taking serious, as if Donald Trump was looking for someone smarter. Watch.
You know, I wanted to find somebody smarter than him. I searched all over. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't.
You really tried hard.
I couldn't find anyone smarter, right? So we had it for the country.
But this is the thing.
We settled on this.
Well, thanks for having me.
So
I'm just trying to be useful
this
here.
is
I think President Trump is a good man, and he's, you know,
It's nice the way he said that. You know, there's something nice about it.
It really is. You know, because I mean, the president's been so unfairly attacked in the media. It's really outrageous. And I've at this point spent a lot of time with the president, and not once have I seen him do something that was mean or cruel or wrong. Not once.
You know, I've known him for 30 years.
Yeah.
And I've never seen anybody take as much as he's taken.
Yeah.
And we've discussed this, and I'm like, how do you deal with it?
Did I have a choice?
Well, you would say that to me. I'm like, what am I going to do? Worry about it? And, you know, and then culminating in 2 assassination attempts, which resulted in your endorsement.
Well, I was going to do it anyway, but that was
it.
Precipitating event. Yeah.
That speeded it up a little bit.
Yeah.
The day of the assassination.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It sped it up, but I was going to do it anyway.
I mean, it is truly, there's so much that has happened under Trump's tenure, even before he ran. I mean, it was just months ago. Ainsley, you and I were here on was it Sunday or Saturday, covering his first assassination attempt. And I think there was something to Elon saying, I think you're a good man. You know, you haven't asked me to do anything unethical or anything like that. You're trying to serve the American people. And when you get to the bottom of DOGE and its relationship with Elon Musk, this should be no surprise to anyone. He campaigned on it. He said he was going to send Elon in there. I guess we should only be surprised that it's working, but and the amount of waste that he's found, but we shouldn't be surprised that it's happened.
I thought the interview really humanized them. I liked when they were laughing together. They.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I absolutely cannot. I think the interview really humanized them. Like, ladies, sit down somewhere, okay? At the end of the day, you know, one thing I noticed about Elon is socially awkward. You all notice that? Once in the chat. Do you all? Skeletor fan. Skeletor fan said Elon might be a robot. He is definitely socially awkward, and he's not very well spoken at all whatsoever. Trump's bragging about how smart he is and intellectual, but he doesn't sound intellectual at all. Okay, it's like he fumbles and stumbles over his words. He's just socially awkward, in my opinion. Okay, that's just what it is. I mean, he seems like he might be someone who is on the autism scale. Okay, on the autism spectrum. That's just what, you know, that's just my opinion. Now, I could be wrong. So anyway, with that all being said, now let's talk about these murder charges, because they've been announced in the death of Robert Brooks. If you all remember, I reported on Robert Brooks maybe a month or so ago. Okay, this is the man who was an inmate, and he was being transferred from one jail to the next. He was already in medical distress. He had some issues or whatever, and they ended up beating him until he was dead, unfortunately. So let's talk about it. Because they say 6 upstate New York corrections officers were charged with murder, gang assault, and manslaughter in a grand jury indictment on Thursday. And that's good. That's exactly what they should have been charged with, okay? But now let's see if they're going to get what they deserve, because charging them is one thing, but convicting them is a whole nother. So let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. And this is breaking news. This literally just came out right before I started this live.
Following breaking news out of New York right now as well. 6 correctional officers have been charged with murder in connection to the death of an inmate.
The inmate's name was Robert Brooks. He died back in December, one day after he was beaten inside the Marcy Correctional Facility. There is body camera footage of the incident, but a warning, it is disturbing. The video shows staff punching and kicking Brooks. According to an attorney for the Brooks family, the medical examiner determined the cause of death was
murder indictment with murder, also in addition to that, gang assault and manslaughter. And we just learned in the last hour from New York Governor Kathy Hochul that these officers will be arrested today. And she also put out a statement where she said, quote, Robert Brooks should be alive today. The brutal attack on Mr. Brooks was sickening. She also added, this incident is a sobering reminder of the challenges facing our correctional system. And of course, this ends what's been pretty much a 2-month saga for the loved ones, family members, and those really supporting Brooks. Was, as we saw in that video, he was brutally beaten, held down while he was in shackles. He was transferred to that prison facility that day, and he died the next day.
And as you mentioned, this must have been so difficult for Brooks's family. Have we heard from them?
Yeah, so we have not heard from them today, but we have heard from them in the past few weeks, and they have called the video disheartening. They have also called it horrific and incomprehensible. And we know the lawsuit that Brooks's son actually put forth to the people that killed him. He says he wants justice for his family and the loved ones that he will never get to see again.
Separately, and I don't know if this is related, but we understand that corrections officers from that same facility in New York are actually on strike right now. Does that have anything to do with what we were just talking about, or is this a separate issue?
Yeah, I mean, this tragedy probably could not come at a better time for the New York State correctional officers. So we know that correctional officers at 30 prisons across New York State have been walked off the job on Monday and Tuesday, and they're protesting because of looming cuts that are coming. They're already operating at about 70% for staffing, and they're looking to cut to about 50%. And officers are saying this is not a money issue, but it's actually a quality of life issue. They're being asked to work 24-hour days, and they're saying this is no quality of life, and they never get to see their family. And so there's a lot of issues piling up.
All right, Marquise Francis, thanks so much.
Okay, that sounds absolutely crazy. How do they expect these people to work 24-hour days? That is absolutely insane. Okay, I would have been walked off the job myself if that be the case. All right, Kevin says, call it what it is. Race soldiers committing terrorism. That's exactly what it is, beloved. That is exactly what it is, okay? Anyway, condolences to his family. I hope that they get justice and that they aren't just, going through the motions as they often do. Okay, yeah, they got the indictment, but are they going to be convicted? And if so, are they going to get a significant amount of time as they should? I mean, they literally should be charged with first-degree murder because that was all premeditated. They knew what they were doing. Okay, at the end of the day, did you all remember the guy that was kicking him in the face or kicking him in the chest as hard as he could and all of that? And the man was already in distress. Like I said, he'd already been injured before they even got him there. He's literally sitting on a gurney, and this is what they're doing. Yo, they need to get life sentences as far as I'm concerned. Every last one of them. Remember, there was 13 of them. Okay, 13 corrections officers with a mob mentality, acting like a whole gang of animals. Okay, make that make sense. But so I'm going to play this one more video for you guys. But before I do, let's talk about Pope Francis. Okay, the Pope's clinical condition showing slight improvement. Now, they say a communique issued by the Holy See Press Office to journalists says Pope Francis' health shows a slight improvement and that during the day he received the Eucharist and dedicated himself to some work. Now they say the Holy Father's clinical condition is getting better and that Pope Francis was admitted to Rome's Augustana Gemelli Hospital on Friday, the 14th of February, following a bout of bronchitis. He was subsequently diagnosed with double pneumonia, and his pharmacological therapy was consequently adjusted. Double pneumonia? Yeah, that sounds pretty bad, specifically at his age. Now, answering questions put to him by reporters on Thursday evening, Matteo Bruni, the director of the Holy See Press Office, explained that the Pope has focal pneumonia, indicating limited areas of infection in the lungs and not widespread pneumonia. He added that he breathes autonomously and that his heart remains stable. Now, twice daily health updates have shown the Pope rests well at night, continues his therapy, and gets out of bed to have breakfast in the morning. Okay, it sounds like he's doing a bit better. I mean, if you're eating, that's clearly a sign that your health is improving. Because when most people are sick, they don't care to eat. They don't even have an appetite, specifically when they have something like pneumonia and a serious bout of it, which it sounds like he does. Okay, so with that all being said, if anyone cared, that's the update on the Pope's health. Okay, Nina says he probably can't get no baby. You all are terrible. I'm not even going to read that, beloved. That is nefarious. Auntie Leah says, family, Mom has seriously declined. She doesn't eat nor drink. I am scared that I will walk into her room and find her gone with the Lord. Please pray for me. She will be just fine. It's me. All right. Prayers to you, beloved. Prayers to you, definitely. And, that's really interesting, Auntie Leah, because remember the reading I did for you? And I told you something like this was coming down the pike. But so prayers for you and your mother, beloved. Stay strong, okay, and take care. And hopefully things will get better, And if they don't, sometimes it's best not to have to suffer, okay? So that's how you can always look at it. All right, so with that all being said, condolences to the family of Robert Brooks, okay? These thugs who did this, the 13 of them, I hope they get everything that's coming to them and then some. All right. Now, before I roll out of here, since it is Black History Month, let's have a listen to what one of the survivors of the Tulsa Massacre had to say. Okay, likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. I'm going to share the screen so you all can hear this. And listen, I know we all know about Tulsa. We've heard the stories. But let's listen to what the elder has to say.
So they didn't start to burn and pillage until they decided, well, all right, we have to teach them a lesson. The Ku Klux decided we have to teach them a lesson. So actually, we as children didn't hear any noise or any shots the night of the 31st of May. But on June 1st, they began to systematically destroy neighborhoods. And they had airplanes dropping things down on people's houses, and they had made up their minds to clear the entire area of Black people. So most of the people fled. When they saw houses burning in the streets behind them, they left. But my mother was determined not to flee. And she poured water on everything she could put water on, trying to make the house safe so it wouldn't burn. But the first thing they did when the militia came was to take all the men, and they took my 8-year-old brother too, to a place, bullpen or some place where they were holding all the Black men. And we didn't know, because we lived on one side of town and they lived on the other. We didn't know they weren't doing the same thing. The militia, you have to obey the militia. So we thought they were locking up the non-Blacks too. But it so happened that it didn't occur that way. What they did was to disarm and lock up all Black men. And then they said to the mob, there's nothing out there now but women and children, so you can do whatever you want to do. And that was when the real terrible things started to happen, because they would invade your house. And my mother had a very strong will. She was a Tuskegee graduate, and she had been trained to teach. But she decided, well, we have to eat no matter what's happening out there in the world. So she had 3 triangular pots that you could put 3 pots on one gas eye on the stove. So she was cooking, and she made biscuits, and they were in the oven. Well, when the crowd came in to pillage and burn, they were infuriated, because here's this woman cooking cream of wheats and making applesauce and cooking biscuits, instead of being terrified and running from us. So I think they thought they had to teach us a special lesson. So they took the food out. Of course, the children are cowering under this big oak table where my mother had put us. And then we saw them take our food out and throw it in the dirt. And then they came back and got the biscuits and took them out and stomped them in the dirt. And then they came back in to destroy whatever they didn't want to take with them.
That is absolutely infuriating to listen to, and that's a darn shame. Okay, this is grown people, and this is what they did to children's food after terrorizing them. Mind you, everything around them being set on fire, excuse me, and burned down. Okay, and they haven't given this woman a single dime of compensation. They're waiting on these survivors to die. That's what they're waiting on. They should have already given these people money decades ago. This is absolutely crazy, but they have all this money to waste on foolish, frivolous spending, and they're mad at Elon Musk. Okay, please pay attention. This is all low down and dirty. And for those of you who don't know, the Gap Band, okay, which was led by Charlie Wilson, you know, they were initially called the Greenwood, Archer, and Pine Street Band. Okay, and then they took the initials from that and made themselves into the Gap Band, because they are descendants of the Tulsa Massacre. Okay, and Greenwood, Archer, and Pine Street are the main streets that were targeted and burned down. And their song, You Dropped the Bomb on Me, that came about because of the military, the U.S. military, dropping bombs on Black Wall Street. Our own military committed an act of terrorism on people who look like me. Okay, but this country isn't wrought with racism. Kamala Harris, Uncle Tim Scott, please pay attention. Okay, with that all being said, OG Patrice said, yep, sure did, Queen. Okay. Hotep Sahadi said, war crimes. Where's the darn lady's money? Exactly. I mean, it's just a shame, and it really is infuriating when we sit here and see that all of these heinous things have happened. And listen, here's what really gets under my skin is when they say things like, you know, well, I don't know anybody alive that was a slave, and my ancestors never owned slaves. First of all these people who love to lie and say that their ancestors never owned slaves, well, if none of their ancestors ever owned slaves, who the hell enslaved our ancestors? Okay, I'm sorry, what? So just the BS, and the thing that really annoys me is that whenever we talk about reparations, they want to talk about slavery, but reparations is not just owed for slavery. Okay, that's just one of many of the things they've done, one of many of the atrocities. Okay, let's not forget the bombing of the school that killed 4 little girls. Let's not forget the night riders who went and terrorized many people who look like me. Let's not forget about the lynch mobs who went and snatched black men out of jails and prisons and murked them, okay, without letting them just serve their time for whatever, okay? And most of the time, these were lies, okay, saying that they had done something to a Karen, just like in the story of Rosewood. And many of the almost all basically of the race riots in this country all started for 2 reasons. The first reason being that there was lies that a black man did something to a white woman. The second reason is because there were white men who were jealous and envious of black men who owned their own businesses and who were obtaining wealth. Okay, and so they would start, you know, just make up reasons to attack these people. All of the race riots in this country stemmed from nothing more than hate, envy, and just wickedness. Okay? So with that all been said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. Everyone, please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time Queen Goddess goes live. And listen, you guys, I cannot express to you how important it is that you absolutely do your due diligence and make sure that you are still subscribed to the channel, because ScrewTube unsubscribes people. Let me just tell y'all something. They don't mind when I talk about celebrity gossip, but what they don't like me talking about is anything that's pro-black. They just don't. Now, I happen to notice that 3 weeks ago, almost a month ago, when I first talked about Robert Brooks, that's when they started messing with the channel again. You know, they already have me shadow banned. That's bad enough. But then they started unsubscribing people at a more rapid rate. They started lying about the views. So let me just show you my evidence, okay? Let me just show you some of the stuff that they have been doing. Now, I want you all to see this because I'm letting you know how serious it is. Okay, y'all see that? Now, this is a screenshot from the video that I did yesterday about A$AP Rocky. Now, 694 views. That's the number of views I had when I ended the stream after about an hour. Okay, but 3 hours later, it still had the same amount of views. Yeah, no, it didn't. Okay, and how do you know that it didn't? Well, I'm so glad you asked, because you see, that's what it showed for anybody who was looking at my channel. Okay, that's what it showed for anybody who was looking at my channel. But if you actually, let me share this, if you actually could see inside the studio, it had a whole nother amount. And I want you all to pay attention, because I'm telling you, see that 14K? Now that was after like an hour and a half. That's what was showing inside the YouTube studio. But you all could see after 3 hours, it's still stuck at 694. Okay, and just to prove that it's the same video. Okay, there you go. You see the same title. Okay. Stream February the 19th. I just want you all to pay attention to the hate, honey. I mean, they be hating on the queen. I'm just sitting here trying to give the news, okay? At the end of the day, they don't like it when I start talking pro-black, honey. They don't like it when I start talking about social injustices and about police brutality. They don't like that, okay? They only want the queen to talk about celebrity gossip, but I'm not a celebrity gossiper, okay? With that all been said, please pay attention. Now, you know what? Before I leave out of here, beloveds, hold on. There was something else I wanted you all to see. There was another video. Let me find that video real quick, because this just reiterates what I have already told you guys about the power grid. Here it is right here. Okay. I want you all to pay attention, because I told you all this the first time back in 2020. And if you haven't started saving up your non-perishable food items, if you haven't been following the lifelines that I've been giving you since Thanksgiving Day of 2020, you need to start. Don't keep procrastinating and wasting time. You see, now it's not just me saying it. Government officials are now saying exactly what I already told you, okay, years ago. So let's get into it. Now, I'm going to put an overlay on this because I don't want any problems with ScrewTube. All right, let's see here. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Matter of fact, I'm just going to go ahead and play it.
Fuck with this random old comedian joke about something so dark. Just watch this shit.
You ever stop and realize how fragile all this is? All you'd have to do would be eliminate electricity. No electricity, no lights. You're back to candles and lanterns, campfires and bonfires. Batteries couldn't be recharged. Generators couldn't be refueled because fuel is pumped electrically. So is water, by the way. So no lights, no fuel, no water. Without electricity, all across America, the gates and cell doors of penitentiaries and mental institutions would fly open. Police wouldn't help you. They'd be gone at the first sign of trouble. They'd be home protecting their own families. So would the Army and the National Guard.
Now, didn't Trump just mention this in a speech?
The big problem is we need double the energy we currently have in the United States. Can you imagine? You don't have to hook into the grid, which is old and, could be taken out. If it's taken out, they wouldn't have any electricity.
And now we have another one of his friends literally telling us how and when to prepare.
A couple of things that you need to have on hand would be some type of a water filtration system, a generator, but on top of that, some type of a solar inverter. I would get a Faraday bag to put those generators in, figure out what electronics you think you're actually going to need the most, maybe light, heat, because if the grid goes down, there's not going to be any heat and it's going to be extremely cold in some places. But another thing people don't think about is tools, hand tools to be able to increase the infrastructure in your house and protect against the desperation of humanity that's coming.
And when this happens, information is going to be the most powerful resource because nobody's going to know what to do, which is why every.
Okay, so you all heard that, right? Isn't that exactly what I've been telling you since 2020? Now you have President Trump telling you the same thing. Okay, I just want y'all to pay attention. This is all serious business. And I already foresaw this. That's why I have been warning you about it, okay? If you haven't gotten your tools and things that you need, and pay attention. He said tools. And he talked about the people that are going to be coming from the outside. He didn't use those specific words. I'm paraphrasing, but basically he's talking about the same thing I've been telling you, that it's going to seem like a purge. People who don't have the things stocked up that they need, those people are going to get desperate, okay? And they're going to be breaking in people's homes, kicking in doors, trying to steal whatever they need to survive, okay? And they're not going to give zero, they're going to give 0 Fs about if they put you in harm's way, if they do anything to you or whatever. So we all have to be prepared. Okay, Panther Strike said, wear it as a badge of honor, Queen. We are on code. Exactly, beloved. Okay, they don't want the Queen telling y'all certain things. Okay, Easy said, Queen, they don't like you teaching. No, they absolutely don't, beloved. Hotep Sahadi said, Queen ain't no wig. No. Okay, thank you, beloved. Okay, so with that all being said, OT Patrice said, you said it yourself, Queen. You're no one-trick pony. Absolutely, beloved. Absolutely. Okay, so with that all been said, listen, I love you all to life. Okay, I hope you all got something out of the broadcast. I will see you all in the morning for your morning wake-up call. Don't forget that I uploaded 2 videos about Diddy and, just some updates. And until next time, beloveds, I hope you all enjoy the rest of this evening. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Hey, yo, Nick, hit him with that flavor. All in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece. This time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got